Whether you sit on the couch and eat snacks all day or you do yoga and play extreme frisbee, you're still fat. So I really hate that, you know, in this whole quest to be just counted as a human being and someone worthy of respect and someone not talking down to them, because that's essentially what it is. I think every fat person out there has at least had someone say to them that they should lose weight, or that maybe they should think about their weight, or maybe they should put that back, or maybe they shouldn't have seconds. Everyone has been body shamed at least once, especially if you're overweight. You don't need to justify yourself. I think that's what I mean about the good fatty, bad fatty. You don't need to justify your fat. You don't need to talk about your fat and try to make it more acceptable and tell people, well, you know, this is my fat and I got here by eating twigs and berries, and you know, I'm fat, or I'm fat and I'm a vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian for a very long time and I'm just still fat, and so, you know, not all fat people are like, oh, you're on the pedestal. Just like when I was talking about how the different denominations of fat, curvy, voluptuous, thick, you know, and people saying that they're thick, and then people saying, oh girl, you are not thick. Oh girl, you got a big ass belly to be thick, girl. You don't be calling yourself thick. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the acceptableness. It's the, you know, and that's why I wanted to get into the acceptable fat. Acceptable fat would be Jennifer Hudson before she lost a lot of weight. Jennifer Hudson was acceptably fat. Takara was not acceptably fat, and she actually obviously knew that. You know, what her chosen field, she wasn't acceptably fat. Look at Adele. Adele is acceptably fat. She's acceptably fat. You'll never see Adele with her stomach hanging out. You know who they got? Jessica Simpson. They caught her. They nipped up Jessica Simpson for not being acceptably fat. When Jessica Simpson started to gain some weight, people started going crazy. You know, they started calling her sloppy and stuff like that for what she was wearing. When in reality, I didn't think she looked sloppy at all. She was wearing the same shit this bitch was always wearing. She only had gained some weight. But Jessica Simpson, fat or skinny or whatever the fuck they're trying to call her, she looks good. That's the thing that kills me, is she actually looks good. And there's all this stigma about being like 120 pounds. If you're famous, but it's like some people look good with some weight on them. You know what I'm saying? Some people look good with that. Some people can benefit from having fat on them. Gabourey Sidibe is not acceptably fat, and that's why the media continues to taunt her. That's why the media continues to blow up and talk about her and make her into fodder. Okay, they didn't do that shit with Monique, because Monique was like, I'm fat and fabulous, and that's the thing. A lot of people wanted to bash on Monique for telling women that were obese or overweight that they were fabulous as they are, as if telling someone who was fat that they were beautiful and lovely somehow made them continue to be fat, other than realizing that that person was going to be fat no matter what, because it is their choice essentially, or it wasn't their choice. Monique always fought against the media and always, you know, wanted to solidify that she was that bitch, and she was not worried about what the fuck someone else had to say. And I think it's funny that people take her losing weight as her giving up the fight of being a fat woman, because she's actually still fat. And she's probably always going to be fat, and no matter how much weight she loses, she will always be overweight or obese by BMI standards, which are bullshit. So it's funny to me how people think just because you lose weight, somehow you lose the fight of body equality and actually having self-worth and confidence. Because I think that's what she preached to people. Whenever I see posts on Tumblr about acceptable fat, you know, I get kind of annoyed, because I feel like I'm a part of that. I feel like I'm a part of the acceptably fat people, the people that, you know, but then again, I don't, though, you know what I'm saying? Because on one hand, the way I dress, people often ask me if I wear body shapers and things like that, but it's not that I wear any of those things. I just wear layers, and I know how to dress for me. And that's something that everyone can learn. Everyone can learn to dress for themselves. And if you're not, you're just fucking not. And no one can really teach you how to dress for yourself. So they can give you some pointers, but no one can really tell you how you're going to look the bomb, because you really have to go out there and look for yourself and really get yourself motivated. Because someone could really try to put you together, but it's up to you to maintain that, you know? So you really got to find your own personal style. It really takes some time. On one hand, it's like, well, you know, I do dress and I do not really wear anything that's going to have my rolls be visible. And it's not that I'm ashamed of my rolls. It's just that there's a time and a place. In summertime, you might catch my belly. You know what I'm saying? But it really depends on what it is. So I think I go between both. I think I go from acceptable fatty to not acceptable, because I can be very covered up and I can be very modest, but then I can also be very comfortable and you know, comfortable for me is naked. I love being naked. I love showing off my body, and that's just me. And I know there's other people out there, you know, of size who also like to do the same thing. And I think that's when some of us become unacceptable fatties, and I think that's when people start bashing. And that's why I got a lot of hate on my Love Your Body video, because people weren't used to seeing an unacceptable fat body, telling them that I'm acceptable, telling them that I accept myself. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. If you are not seeing, if I would have did that video not showing my gut, not showing any imperfections, not showing myself as a visible fat woman, because sitting here right now, you know, I'm not a visible fat woman for everyone. Not everyone identifies with me being a visible fat woman. But as soon as I lift up my shirt and actually give you the full effect of how big I am, I think that's when people start to get upset. You know what I'm saying? That's the actual. That's the actual whole point of the acceptable fatty, is to look acceptable to people and, you know, get that pass. You know, when people are talking about death fatties, I'm involved in that, but people don't see me as that because they don't see a very pronounced double chin, and because of the way that I choose to present myself, I do understand the acceptable and unacceptable fat as a theory. Like, I get it, and it's real. It's not just a theory, it's real. It's a real thing. You'll definitely, like, if I post a picture versus someone who has their gut, you know, you can see it in their pants, or they're not wearing the nicest clothes. It's a lot of different things, though. It's not only that. But I did want to talk about it, and I want to know you guys' thoughts on good and bad fatties and acceptable and unacceptable fat, because I think it's something really, it's something obviously very real in the community of women of size and people of size. But I just wanted to talk and just get some thoughts, because I know a lot of girls out there were posting things and saying, you know, they don't feel included, and they feel like they always see the pictures of the same 10 girls, and they don't see anybody else, and no one else gets any shine. And while they recognize that not everybody wants to put themselves out there, they do think that they should be represented in some way. So if anybody has any thoughts about it, please send them to me. Thank you guys for watching this video, and bye.